Hello, it's good to have you with us at this hour. I'm Daniel Che here to provide you with the latest. First of all, President Park Geun-hye's former senior secretary is brought in for questioning, and arrest warrants are issued for two other former presidential aides. Our Yoon-shin starts us off with updates of the continued probe into the power abuse scandal surrounding the president's close aide, Choi Sun-sil, and the top office.
Yet another of President Park Geun-hye's former top aides has been summoned by state prosecutors for questioning. The former senior secretary for Civil Affairs, Woo Byung-woo, appeared on Sunday at the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's office to be interrogated over alleged corruption. He is suspected of abuse of authority, embezzling funds from his family-owned company, and failing to disclose correctly the full value of his real estate properties. His wife and mother-in-law have previously denied the charges related to falsifying real estate documents when they were brought in for questioning. Woo resigned from his position a week ago amid growing public outrage, along with several political figures suspected of influence peddling and embezzlement in relation to the scandal involving President Park's close confidant Choi Sun-sil. Also on Sunday, the state prosecutors brought in the former senior presidential secretary for policy coordination, An Jong-bum, and former presidential secretary, Jung Ho-sung, for further investigation after issuing arrest warrants for both. An is said to have pressured big companies into donating to two government-linked organizations that Choi Sun-sil helped set up, while Jung's charges include leaking confidential presidential documents to Choi. While the investigation of Choi, the woman at the center of this scandal, is still ongoing, officials say the probe into all of Choi's associates will help determine just how deeply the president was involved in the scandal. Yoon-shin, Arirang News.
President Park is expected to call for meetings with the country's political parties this week in relation to her nominee for the post of Prime Minister. The opposition parties have been pledging to boycott the confirmation hearing of nominee Kim Byung-jun, saying the president did not consult with Parliament before the announcement. Amid escalating public anger over the Choi case, she carried out a series of personnel changes, made two televised apologies, and said she would cooperate with prosecutors. Meanwhile, Han Kwang-ok, the president's new chief of staff, said he feels the disappointment of the Korean people and understands the gravity of the situation. In a meeting of senior presidential secretaries, he called on the top aides to work with resolute determination to prevent the scandal from dealing a blow to state affairs and to restore the functions of the government. The Korean government has been working to foster communication with channels with U.S. presidential candidates ahead of the election. According to an official from Seoul's foreign ministry, Korean officials have contacted and met with top aides and key members of both the Democratic and Republican camps in various fields ranging from diplomacy to security, over 190 times combined. They add Seoul and Washington both acknowledge the importance of their alliance, regardless of domestic political situations. This comes after White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest said that alliance remains strong and durable despite a recent political scandal gripping Korea. U.S. presidential nominee Donald Trump was rushed off the stage by Secret Service amid a disturbance in the crowd, but it turned out to be a false alarm. At a campaign rally in Reno, Nevada, Saturday evening, an unidentified individual shouted "gun" during a scuffle with a man holding a sign reading "Republicans against Trump." The man with the sign was tackled by armed guards and was quickly taken out of the convention hall. Officials later reported the man was unarmed and no weapon was found at the scene. Both Trump and his Democrat rival Hillary Clinton have been making their final campaign stops in key battleground states to win over undecided voters and motivate their bases as the race for the White House enters its last few days. Voting begins on Tuesday, November 8th. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi warned Islamic State militants in the city of Mosul to lay down their arms if they want to live, as government-led forces close in on the country's second-largest city. According to state media, the PM's message to the people was that the city will be liberated soon and the government forces will not retreat. Mosul's been under ISIS control for more than 2 years, but the army said it's gained a foothold in the eastern suburbs and taken another town just south of it. Satellite images show the militants have set up barricades on key routes into the city and demolished buildings to clear their line of sight. Defense analysts say the fortifications could pose a serious challenge to advancing forces. They would likely face sniper fire, house-to-house fighting, and booby traps once inside the city. A state-run think tank says Korea's recovery momentum is weakening on the back of slow exports and slump in consumption. Our Kim Min-ji looks into the discouraging digits.
The momentum behind Korea's economic recovery appears to be slowing down. That's the assessment by the Korea Development Institute, which says the pace of recovery is being hurt by sagging exports coupled with a slump in domestic consumption. The KDI's latest report is gloomier than last month's, which said the recovery is holding steady at a modest rate. This time, though, the state-run think tank said growth has slowed down both in retail sales and the service sector, and that they could drag on the overall economy. Retail sales fell 4.5% in September from the previous month, marking the biggest fall in nearly 6 years. Output in the service sector grew 2.8% on year in September, but that was slower than the 4.8% gain the month before. Exports, along the backbone of the economy, continued their downward streak in October, falling 3.2%. They've been declining for almost 2 years now, despite a brief rebound in August.
Recent economic growth has been backed by construction and real estate. There needs to be a shift in focus to increasing investment and productivity, which will in turn lift production capacity.
What's worrisome is that the Institute does not expect conditions to improve anytime soon, with uncertainties here and abroad casting a shadow over the Korean economy. For one, a rate hike in the U.S. is looming, and that could impact Korea if it triggers a massive capital outflow from emerging markets. On top of that, the government's ongoing corporate restructuring drive is taking a toll on related industries, and the fallout from Samsung's termination of its Galaxy Note 7 is expected to continue for some time. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
Korean automakers appear to be doing well when it comes to going green. Data compiled by the Korea Automobile Manufacturers Association show Korea had the world's 5th largest eco-friendly auto market last year, despite its relatively small size overall. Some 42,000 green cars such as hybrid and electric vehicles were sold in the country last year, meaning a more than 17% jump from the year prior. But the figure accounts for a mere 1.8% of the combined 2.3 million such automobiles sold worldwide in the year 2015. Seoul has a long way to go to catch up to Tokyo, which leads the pack at more than 890,000 units. Though green vehicles make up barely 1% of all registered vehicles in Korea, analysts predict that number will increase drastically, especially with the strong government backing. Many people think that alcohol consumption is the main cause of liver diseases. However, recent studies show 90% of such diseases are caused by hepatitis B and C. Kim Mo-kyun shares with us the latest findings.
More than 20,000 people in Korea die every year due to liver-related diseases. As the liver is considered to be the silent organ because of the slow appearance of its symptoms, many people don't realize that something is wrong until it's too late. This is very dangerous, as the fatality rate of liver cancer is the second highest next to lung cancer. A recent study held by the Korean Association for the Study of the Liver announced that the biggest factors that cause liver diseases are hepatitis B and C viruses. Researchers said that some 75% of patients suffering from liver cirrhosis or cancer in Korea developed it from hepatitis B and 15% from hepatitis C. What's surprising is that many people were unaware of the fact, as they compare the danger of viruses as similar to or less important than smoking and obesity. According to a survey held by the association on more than 2,000 adults, when asked what is the main cause of liver cancer, 75% of respondents pointed to alcohol consumption, followed by smoking, hepatitis B, and obesity in that order.
Since effective medicines that can cure hepatitis patients are available nowadays, it's important to include checkups on hepatitis during nationwide physical health screenings.
Experts say it's important to first increase the awareness of the risks and symptoms of hepatitis in order to prevent the increasing number of deaths from liver diseases. Kim Mo-kyun, Arirang News.
And now the weather before we go. Fine dust in the air may have provided a challenge to Koreans, especially for those taking part in vigils in different parts of the country on Sunday, but air quality is much improved and will stay that way through Monday. Nationwide showers are in the forecast on Tuesday, so do be prepared for that. Temperature-wise, Seoul and Gwangju start the day at 10 and Jeju at 14 degrees Celsius. The mercury will then rise all the way to 17 in the capital, 19 in both the City of Lights and the Southern Resort Island. And now let's check out the weather conditions in other parts of our world. That concludes our newscast for this hour. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a smooth transition to a new work week.